Good evening, I'm Connor James. Multiple people were killed today at a shopping center in El Paso, Texas. More than 20 were injured. Police say they have at least one person in custody, and just now we are learning that between 15 and 20 people are dead. CBS's Kenneth Craig is following this developing story from New York.
Heavily armed police swarmed the Cielo Vista Mall as a helicopter flew overhead.
This is a large crime scene, a large area, so we are systematically going through it and making sure that anybody in the area, number one, we're ruling out that no one is a suspect, and we're also making sure that those people that were separated or hurt are getting the care that they need.
This Walmart employee said it took a moment to realize what was going on.
I hear them closer and louder, and that's when I realized, I'm like, okay, this is like serious. So I see people running right away, and that's when I reacted. I'm like, okay.
This man witnessed the chaos as it unfolded.
Some of the other employees, they were coming in, and they would tell me that they heard some gunshots, and people just started bolting straight into the store in order to get to cover.
And it is very hard to think about this.
Speaking at an event in Nevada, Democratic presidential candidate and former El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke reacted to the news as information was still coming out.
So I just ask for everyone's strength for El Paso right now. Everyone's resolve to make sure that this does not continue to happen in this country.
On Twitter, President Trump said he's been in contact with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and is pledging the full support of the federal government. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
We will have more information and all the latest updates on our website and again tonight at 11. Well, back here in Kentucky, all eyes are on Harlan County as miners protesting Black Jewel enter their 6th day since they first stepped onto the tracks. It all started on Monday after miners would not let a train carrying coal leave a mine in Cumberland. They say they will not leave until they get their paychecks. Hundreds have not been paid the thousands of dollars they're each owed. Many organizations and people from in and out of state have donated food, supplies, and money to the miners. And for several weeks, we have covered the domino effect the Black Jewel miner situation has had on Harlan County. One of the stories we shared was when Joyce Chang, a local business owner, ran 50 miles asking for donations for the miners. Chang says after seeing the story, donors are reaching out to see how they can impact the families' lives as school goes back into session. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to miners about what the generous donation means to them and their families.
Joyce Chang and other runners ran 50 miles in Harlan, raising more than $5,000 to help Black Jewel coal miners.
As a runner, I run every day for free, but this time, I run it for someone. And I also touch all the people's heart that want to take care of these coal mining kids right now.
Chang said after watching the news on TV and seeing Chang's efforts for the miners, Terry Jones from Irvine, Kentucky has donated $10,000 to help the families as school starts back for their kids.
We want them to have a new shoes for school, new backpack. He said every single kid deserves this for school start.
The miners say the donation has relieved a little of the pressure they are under.
It makes us feel a lot better, stuff like that, when, more or less weight off our back and stuff. At least our kids, get school clothes and shoes and stuff like that. Then, it really helps.
By noon on Saturday, With Love from Harlan members said more than 150 kids got new backpacks and shoes. In Harlan County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
The first 100 kids at Shoe Show also had a separate donor who is donating an outfit apiece to those kids. Well, looking ahead to the rest of the weekend into Monday, currently there is a concert being held on the tracks for the miners. The Kudzu Killers are playing music, and then tomorrow at 1 p.m. there will be a church service there for miners and their families. And on Monday at 10 a.m. a hearing for Black Jewel is scheduled at the federal courthouse in Charleston, West Virginia. Buses going to the court leave from Harlan at 5 a.m. We will have a crew there. In sad news out of Owsley County, we've learned Mayor Charles Long, who many believe was the oldest mayor in America, died. Long was elected in 1958 and took office as Boonville's mayor in 1959. He's been mayor ever since. He served the city and Owsley County for 60 years. He was 99 years old. Long also served in World War II. In a 2014 interview with WYMT, Long told reporters he lived a happy life.
Life has been, in a way, good to me, and I thank the Lord every day for living.
Long had recently suffered from multiple health complications. Visitation for Long will be August 7th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Boonville Funeral Home. His service will be August 8th at 2 p.m. And 35 years ago today, on August 3rd, 1984, longtime Congressman Carl D. Perkins of Knott County died. He collapsed on a flight from Washington, D.C. to Lexington and was pronounced dead at a Lexington hospital. The Democrat served in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1949 until his death. Thousands attended his funeral at the Morton Combs Athletic Complex, including notable dignitaries like Senator Ted Kennedy and Speaker of the House Tip O'Neill.
Well, overall today has been a pretty nice day outside, a little bit drier than yesterday, just a few clouds here and there. Let's go ahead and take you to some of our webcams right now. Right outside of the WYMT studios, you see pretty pleasant conditions, a few clouds here and there, but overall mostly blue skies is what we are seeing. Those temperatures pretty seasonable for this time of year. Those temperatures in the mid 80s for most of us, some folks near 90 degrees and some folks in the lower 80s, but overall not too bad out there, just your typical summertime afternoon. Now your weather headlines for today. We are looking at stray weekend chances continuing into tomorrow, but we're also going to see that sunshine continue, and we also have a dry start to a work week thanks to high pressure, and I'll let you know when we have our next big rain chance coming up in just a little bit, Connor.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Well, it's here, the start of the fall political season, and once again, thousands are taking part in a tradition of kicking it all off at a huge picnic in a little western Kentucky town. WYMT's Phil Pendleton is in Fancy Farm for the annual picnic and political event.
Planning for this picnic that attracts about 10,000 people in this little community of Fancy Farm started months ago, all the way back in January. And this morning, people began arriving, taking their seats for the political stump speaking that was still more than 5 hours away. A family from Flatwoods drove 6 hours to attend their first Fancy Farm.
Just the tradition, just being a part of something historic, I think is great for our family.
Others are veterans. Some have been here for decades. They would never dream of missing it.
Yes, we have all kinds of good times. People have dressed up as everything from Abraham Lincoln to you name it. They used to parade across the stage until they put a stop to that. I mean, there's been all kinds of antics throughout the year.
And after hours of waiting, the main event finally arrived. The candidates hoping to say just the right thing to this audience of thousands.
We do have the lowest unemployment in the history of Kentucky. We do have more people working now than ever in the history of Kentucky.
On education, it's wrong when Matt Bevin attacks and insults our teachers. It's wrong when he takes money out of public education to give to his private school buddies.
They say that you can never win by what you say at Fancy Farm, but you can sure lose. It'll be interesting to see the impact of what was said in just a few minutes speech on this stage will have on the fall campaign in the months ahead. At Fancy Farm in Graves County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
The annual event started as simply a church picnic 139 years ago and has since drawn into a major fundraiser for the Catholic Church in the Graves County community. Well, there's a new addition to the Democratic ticket in Kentucky. Lieutenant gubernatorial candidate Jacqueline Coleman says she's pregnant. With her husband standing by her side, Coleman said Friday night that their baby girl is due in February. Coleman made the announcement during a Democratic dinner on the eve of the Fancy Farm picnic, calling her baby the newest member of the Bashir Coleman team. Well, hundreds of people went to Kroger Field for UK Fan Day today. The event gives people the chance to meet the team. People stood in long lines to get autographs from their favorite players and football head coach Mark Stoops.
Very exciting. I've been a fan since I was a kid, and it's been the best season so far.
Fans also got to watch the team practice. The Wildcats play their first game August 31st against the University of Toledo. We will have more on the event tonight at 11. Well, still to come on Mountain News Weekend Edition, we will take you to the second annual Scotty Hamilton Memorial ATV ride, where around 400 people came out to show their support. Plus, while the weather was nice today, around 75 people took off on their four-wheelers for another reason. We will explain coming up.
It's been a pretty nice day here in the mountains, and tomorrow looks like it's going to be a lot like today. I'll tell you about our next major rain chance coming up.